Today I'm going to show you how to make an aquarium picture or craft by using construction paper and paper plates, markers, and some crayons. So the first thing you need to do is you need to get a paper plate. Any kind of paper plate will do. A thicker one would be best since you are going to paint it. So the first thing I did was I painted my plate blue because that's going to be the background or the water of my aquarium. And I tried to, when I painted it, to make sort of swoopy, wave-looking marks across the paper or across the plate. So that's your first step. So you paint it and then you let it dry completely. Your next step is to then take another paper plate. This is going to be the outer shell of that. You're going to take a scissors, and if you're young, you're going to have somebody help you. But basically, I'm going to cut a circle out of this plate so that it becomes the frame for my aquarium. So the first thing I do is I take my scissors and I carefully pierce my plate. And because this plate has a almost like a rim, I'm going to use that rim as my natural circle. So I'm just going to cut all these different ways to get out, connect to the circle, and then use my scissors and try to follow that line. And it came out in a pretty great circle. It's really easy to do if you use the rim of the plate as a guide. Because it needs to be painted, or I wanted to paint it, I already painted and had mine dried. So I'm going to put my cover or my frame to the side for the moment. So now that I have my underwater scene, I want to then fill it with fish and other kinds of marine life. So I'm going to take some construction paper. You can take white paper, you can take loose leaf paper, and draw some fish. So let's see, I'm going to draw some coral because coral comes in many different colors on the bottom of the sea. So I'm just going to put my plate aside. And coral kind of looks like squiggly. I think that marker's not great, so I'll use a crayon. But coral can sort of have any sort of shape that a plant would. So what you do is you cut out your shape from your construction paper. And when you have all that, you can cut out fish and color them. You can cut out turtles and seahorses. I think I might make a seahorse since I don't have one. And once you are done cutting out all your pieces, you can begin to assemble. So I've already taken the liberty of cutting out some more coral in different colors because coral comes in many colors in the sea. And I made like a squiddy pink thing and a couple of fish and a turtle. I also made some starfish and teeny tiny baby fish. But I'm going to make a seahorse, and I'm going to use one of the pieces of my paper plate so I don't waste anything. And so I'm just going to draw the outside of a seahorse. I know it has a very small and skinny nose. I know the tops of it has those little markings, and I know that it goes swoop down like that, so I'm going to follow my markings down that line and then give it a little swoopy thing at the end. And that's going to be my seahorse, and I'm going to cut it out. If you don't cut your shapes exactly, you can always, if you mess up, you can always change it with marker or with your crayons. And again, if you're not great with the scissors part, maybe somebody who's older at home can help you. Cut your scissor part bits. And now I'm ready to color in my seahorse. Let's see what color it should be. Looking at my crayon, I'm gonna go with this sort of sea green color from my crayon box. So I'm going to color the whole thing in and then maybe put a little bit of detail in a darker color. And then I'm going to use a darker color and there is my seahorse. Now I'm ready to begin to assemble my aquarium. So I have all my pieces together. I take my glue or my glue stick. I'm going to use liquid glue. And I take my plate. So I want to decide where I want my things to be. So I begin to put the pieces down to see where it seems like they make the most sense. Starfish, starfish, fish, fish, seahorse, and then I'll put one of my fish almost coming between the coral. Turtle. I have quite a bit here. My squid. Okay, so once you have a layout of what you think you might want your piece to look like, then you take the pieces off and you begin to glue. So for example, I have these two pieces of coral. Open up my glue. I'm not going to put glue up on the branches of my coral because I want things to go in between them. So I don't want to glue them down just yet. But I'll glue the base down with one piece of coral, and then I will use other piece of coral and put it sort of over it. And again, I didn't put the glue the branches down because I want fish to go in between it. And then I take my last piece of coral, and coral can be pink, it can be green, all coral comes in many, many colors. Now I begin to put my other animals. So I'm going to put my squid here. My squid, one of my fish, my turtle, is just swimming along up here. I have a starfish. And a seahorse. My seahorse is, there we go. And then one final fish. And when you're done, when your aquarium looks like you want it to look, right? You put all your pieces down. Then you're ready to put your top piece on. Okay, so what we're going to do with that is we're going to take the bottom plate, and right where the ridge is, we're going to put some glue down. Okay. And then we take our painted over frame layer and we press the two together. And when you're done, when it dries, you now have an aquarium that you can put on your wall. You can put it on a bookshelf, and it looks really pretty and cool. How did yours turn out?